So, hello, this is Suzanne Toro, and I'm here with AmandaSage in her studio in downtown LA. Thank you, Amanda, for joining me.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Or thank you for having me, I should say. It's pretty funny. Thank you for joining me today. Anyways, that's my quirky behavior. We're going to dive into a conversation. I think we're going to start with the eggs because I walked in and Amanda has 5 new pieces, relatively new pieces, ready to take off to Tucson to the gem show. When I met you a year ago, the egg really spoke to me. So if you can share what that means for you and what you're carrying within that vessel, because it really feels like a very powerful vessel that you're holding.
Well, I think you hit that right with it being a vessel, and that's a vessel that can carry anything and can be anything, and every single one is different. Each one is unique. It's the most reduced organic form. And the shape of the egg, I don't even like to call it an egg. It's a seed. It's a doorway. But it's an egg, so I'm happy with that as well. It came to me through a painting that I did very automatically, or that just came through. It was in Bali in 2006. I went there for 2 months on a little vision quest with myself to kind of dive deeper into the visual language and how I was going to communicate what was really wanting to speak through me. And this form, the egg, was brought to me in a painting that I titled Dreams. And it's kind of a self-portrait of me lying there, and a mystical snake is in the sky and has this egg in its mouth. And so off of that, I started doing these paintings using the shape of the egg as the vessel or form that could hold anything. And in that, I felt safe. In that, I felt not judged, or that I had to fit into some other box or paradigm, and free to express. And that has kind of just... I remember when I had that moment of realization, thinking, oh my God, I might be painting these forms for the rest of my life. And that's kind of a freaky notion. But also, it's very limitless. And within that form, I feel like I'm expanding constantly, pressing the boundaries of what is possible to fit into a form. And it's teaching me a lot. And I look forward to painting bigger ones and bigger ones, actually. I see them as doorways, kind of. And what they do, too, the more I've explored this, it's actually, our ethereal bodies are the shape of an egg. The earth is the shape of an egg. Our cells are egg shapes, basically. It's the most reduced organic form, which means it doesn't have a fully symmetrical pattern or blueprint, in a sense. Right. It's kind of like, a little more narrow on one end than the other, but it's one of the strongest forms that exists as well. And it's the form of the seed, of birthing of new life, all the symbolism behind it as well. And it's something that I feel like this shape could possibly, is maybe on a very deep cellular level, speaking to our genetic memory or to our cells, and with my intention of healing and of wanting to find healing on this planet and for people in general and myself and beyond. Maybe they can be of assistance.
Well, and as you're speaking, it's feeling, we have the idea of the egg or the seed and something coming from it, but as you were speaking, it was almost becoming the womb to me again. And if you can talk about your kind of desire to reconnect people back to the earth, and how actually if we go back to that womb environment, or Mother Earth's womb, or wherever you want to call it, or you can give your interpretation. Can you speak to that about reconnecting back to those memories and what power we can, or memories we can bring back with us out into the everyday life, and how it can transform us?
Well, I think it does feel like a womb. It feels like incubation almost within it. But it's like within this perfect form, or realizing that you're perfect, that just allows beauty and like a profound stillness to come through, where answers and the narrative of life becomes like a flowing river, and it's not this difficult puzzle to figure out. And I think it's life is just kind of this wave of ups and downs of experience. Mm-hmm. It's never, I think, trying to attain like one utopic space is illusionary nonsense.
Right.
But I think being able to ride it, in a vessel of your choice is your choice.
Right.
Either you're taken and crashed by the waves, or you get to ride them. And that's our choice. And so I think the getting in touch with where we come from is something, I think, just very, very, very integrally important to our future existence on this planet. And I think that maybe the mysteries are being uncovered and reinterpreted in different ways in science and archaeology and religion, all these things. What do they all mean? Are they all interrelated? Because that's also what this form symbolizes to me, is in a way we're all connected. We all come from the same place. Mm-hmm. We all are made up of the same stuff. Stardust.
Exactly.
We've got how many little UFOs do we have in our own bodies? Right. Or how much do we understand our own bodies? What are we made of? I mean, the mystery just is expanding more and more.
Right.
Yeah, maybe through creativity, and being those kind of direct sources of channeling, or direct channeling broadcasters. We could tap into a collective consciousness that has some messages.
Well, and talk about a little bit about that potentiality within your paintings. And you were describing a little bit earlier how, and I have to tell all the listeners, I was so in a witnessing state of Amanda and how detached she is from her creations, which is a very profound place to be. I can speak from firsthand studying, in a creative arts field, that oftentimes it can be very ego-driven, a lot of competition. Sometimes you're trained in such a way that it's hard to remove the I from it. But you've definitely done that. I was really impressed by that. And if you can share, I think that reflects in your paintings about the possibility that the doorways that you're opening to the viewers of your art. And even for a viewer that has opportunity to go experience any art, if you can share a little bit about the possibility in the creation on the on a canvas or wherever they're connecting to any type of art.
Well, I think it's different. I mean, what can be on a canvas, or on a piece of paper, or whatever. It's very much depends on the intention of who's created something. And there can be a depiction of a landscape, of a portrait, of something that's very specific, or a very specific story. But there can also be many interpretations that can be made out of paintings and images that are a little bit more abstract in where they came from. And to me, I feel a little bit more abstract in the sense of not trying to control the outcome, and more allow the painting to tell me where it wants to go, trying to listen. And I feel like the clues that I get from the painting is through color and shape and form. And this goes back to actually a very, it's kind of simple, fundamental little comment that the man that I worked with for many years, this great artist, Ernst Fuchs, in Austria, he made to me. And these are two different times, actually. One was when I was working on this painting, and I just didn't know where to go with it. It was right when I was starting to really paint from my imagination more. And he took this painting and he looked at it and he's like, Amanda, this painting is sick. It's sick. It's suffering. You're just, you're not taking care of it. You need to learn to listen to the painting. And that just hit me so hard that I never forgot that. And I think of that often in terms of when you get stuck in a place of where you just don't see it. What's wrong,
Right.
And that it knows. And so that you can kind of interpret that in life in so many different ways. When you detach yourself
Right.
from your head, from your ego of what you think is right.
Yes.
And then also following color and line and shape and form, these becoming observant to your surroundings and looking for harmony. When you know how harmony, like in music, there are certain notes and harmonies that sound so beautiful together, and then others that are discordant. It's the same with color. And learning about that, it's a very kind of fundamental laws of the universe.
Right.
But once you know them, then you can play with them, and through intention, through feeling, form and color, and light and dark, you can create harmonies that
are endless.
Endless.
So what's your greatest hope? As you mentioned, just realizing maybe you'd be connected to this form. What is, I guess, your current intention? I guess long range is not really being in the moment, but what's your current intention with your work and as you're sharing it with others?
I think, well, definitely my current intention is transformation, and transformation in individuals, and not in everybody. I know that that's not important, but I think, or not,
I know what you mean.
honest, or I mean, I think it's everybody gets to the truth in different ways, but I think that they could be maybe little helping instigators to support something that you feel deep inside, and in a loving, gentle way of opening your heart to the world, and instead of being uptight and afraid and fearful for sickness, for war, for death, for any of these things. I think I would love to see my paintings be a soothing medicine for people.
And so with that, like saying if we're connected to the fear of something, and then we have this beautiful alchemy in your paintings, and why don't we talk about a couple to share the alchemy of each one of these paintings with the listeners, and they can watch along too, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So when I first got here, we were connecting. The names. I really like Amanda's like me. She can't remember the names, but we have Mateo, who's very helpful. We might need you here in a few moments.
Okay.
So what we want to start with, now I can't even remember her name.
Subtle Secession.
Subtle Secession. Yeah, let's talk about the alchemy of subtle secession.
Subtle Secession is kind of, I think it's very literal in the sense of what it depicts, and it's kind of the cycle of life, the birth to the blossom, the threefoldness, to kind of the dying point of going back to the earth and going back to the place where we came from when we came into this existence. And so that's that cycle. It's kind of almost like did you see, what was that? I don't remember the name of the movie right now. But it's kind of like this glass ball, this existence that kind of mirrors the essence of life and the cycle in it.
And for that, if someone's wanting to make peace, I don't know, I'm sensing that this painting can actually help me make peace with the cycle of life.
Yeah.
So for someone, would you say that's part of the medicine that might provide?
Exactly. I think that it's to
be okay with it.
Be okay with it. Yeah. And this is us, and it's the flower is also this beautiful representation of enlightenment in the plant kingdom, and